Hello, it's me. I've not uploaded in a while because I've been busy. Um, I'm in Nashville, pretty cool city, all things considered. I I like Memphis, but there's just not anything there for me, and I don't want to be there. Um, so I am living in my car. I've been to a couple open mics, and they've been pretty cool. I don't really know anyone yet, and again, I am living in my car, so it's not ideal. But did you see me stop myself from crying just there? That was pretty slick, I think. Uh, but all things considered, things are good. Like obviously, it's not good that I am living inside a coupe, but I was parked outside of a church today because this is where I slept, and I went on a walk, just a couple miles, and then I got back, and someone that works at the church came up to me and was like, "Hey, we've noticed your car's been parked outside all day. Also, I don't have a stand right now, so I'm just holding this in my hand. So I'm sorry if it's shaky." Uh, and they were like, "Are you okay?" And then I just started crying, and I was like, "No, well, no, I didn't say no. I was like, well, I'm hopeless." Um, and it was embarrassing, but he came back and he got me a little booklet of resources in Nashville for being homeless. Um, so I'm parked outside of one of those right now, one of the day shelters. It's not like a place for you to sleep, but I can shower here and wash my clothes here. And I think they have a meal every day here or something. I don't know. But I don't know anyone out here, so I don't really have any connections. I had to leave Memphis. As much as it was like my home, I just every time I went out, it just just too much stuff had been said about me. Um, there's bullshit, but whatever. Also, just like there's not a good comedy scene there. There's a lot of different factors. I also just needed to get some distance from my parents, um, who are very conservative, and just out of self respect, I had to leave. And if I'm gonna live in my car, um, I might as well do it somewhere that has a comedy scene. So I came out here to Nashville. I saw Stavros on Friday when I came out here, and he was good. And then I met him outside the tour bus and shook his hand. He has soft hands. You know, people tell me that, and I've forgotten that a number of times. They're like, "You have really soft hands," and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm on hormones." Um, but now I'm starting to think it's just kind of the shape of the hand because he has a kind of a similar build to me. That Mediterranean kind of stockiness to it. I have really big, thick fingers and shit, and stubby fingers. And I think just the shape of them, they're just soft. Um, but that was fun. I was like, good show. And then I just stood there for a second. I was like, because I was nervous. Um, and he's like, "You want to take a picture?" And I was like, "Oh, yeah, sure." Sure, I'll take a picture. And I got a picture, and it's cute. Um, I love that guy. I'm in love with Stavros. Genuinely. I, I'm so smitten by him. Um, all of the comedians I looked up to growing up, a lot of them have let me down. But I didn't start listening to him till like last year, and I really like him. Anyways, I don't really know what I'm doing here. I Again, I don't really know anyone out here. I don't really know anyone in general because I just kind of stopped talking to people. The last couple years were like, I remembered every single conversation I had because there's like 3 total people that I spoke to over the course of those years, which is really bad. It's not good. Um, it's just another reason why I need to not be in that area. But things have been good. I went to this like park thing that I was sleeping there for a couple days in Nashville called Love Circle that a buddy took me to. Um, like 6 years ago. Uh, I messaged them all on acid, and I think they think I'm insane now. So if you see this, that's my bad. I'm sorry. um, I need to not be given a phone when I'm on acid because I will just start typing away, which is good for writing. I did write some good stuff. I wrote not to them, just to myself. Um, I wrote well, I tweeted it, but I didn't tweet it. I skeeted it. I wrote, I'm funny, but I'm like an old man. You have to put cigarettes out on. You have to put cigarettes out on me and call me a bad girl. You know how old men are. And I think that's some inspired writing. Okay, it's funny to be. Um, Last night I went to the first one was at a bar called Love in Exile. Oh yeah, I forgot. I probably should have opened with this. So we were doing Ellie Loved June, and then Juniper Love Elizabeth. So 2 names, because I have DID, and I don't know. Our plan was originally when we came up with that was just to have it kind of like as a gimmick, but now I'm realizing that's just kind of it's just gonna cause more problems. We've been realizing it. Um, like, what if someone knows me as Ellie, and then someone knows me as June, and then they're like, "Oh, I thought you were." I'd rather have people know that I am just one person, like one body. So we're just gonna go by Love, because that was in the middle of both of it, and I think it's cute. Um, and I like when people call me things like Hun and Love, even though I don't really do any good with relationships that much. So I'm gonna just have people call me that. And I've switched up my Instagram to just be a comedy page. And like whenever you do an open mic, you have to go and like sign up and like write your name. So the first open mic I did the other day here at East Coast, no, Third Coast Comedy Club. Yeah, Third Coast. Um, we wrote Juniper Love Elizabeth, and that was like because we agreed that we would do just love. Um, but I was like, oh, I don't really know if I just write love. What? So instead, what I did yesterday when I went to it was a writers round at Love in Exile, so everyone did like a minute set, and then we talked about it, and there's only like 9 people there. It was fun. I had a good time. I've never really been to anything like that, and I got to contribute a joke that I was never going to use. So, and what I did that time is I wrote capital J just JUST space capital LOVE. So just love, and that is my name on my social medias now. And if people ask, I'm going to say my name it's just love, and then they'll be like, oh. But then when I write it down, they can be like, coming up next, it's just Love. And I'll be like, yeah, my name's Love. The justice, but also, some might say that my love is just. It's stupid. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. But I think that's what I want to do. At least it's not even just like what I want to do. It's about what we want to do together, uh, because we have no choice. But it's okay. It's not a big deal. I mean, no, I like the idea. If we're gonna do something, this works for me. Obviously, I would love to not have to have like a dissociative disorder. Um, and I really don't think it's gonna help my comedy career as much as I thought it would. But having something that functions and getting to do what I always wanted to do growing up and what I love to do and what I'm passionate about, it's better than living in a house or in a city that I know, or I'm just happy with what I'm doing. But I mean, I have been crying a lot today. I quit smoking cigarettes because obviously I can't afford cigarettes and they're gross. And I like how I smell when I don't smell like cigarettes. Um, I think I have like a month and a half's worth of estrogen left. So I'll have to figure it out after that. But hopefully, in a month and a half, I'll have enough money to just do some DIY. Or, I'll figure it out. I'm not too worried about. I stopped taking all stimulants that I was taking for school. So no Vyvanse, no Adderall. And that has been a relief. I still, I mean, I've been tired today, but coming out to Nashville, obviously, I was feeling pretty wired. I wasn't on any stimulants, just natural. I'm free, yay! I don't have to die out here. I can die anywhere else. I'll die in Nashville, and that's better. I don't want to die out in Memphis. I love Memphis, and I think Memphis deserves a lot better than it gets. And I think people get really fucking racist like anytime they talk about Memphis. But I don't really want to be there. But that's just like for personal trauma reasons. I don't think that you're going to get shot if you go out in the street of Memphis. I think the people who say that I mean, usually don't really mean anything by it, I assume. But I don't know. I hate it when people say that shit. It's funny. So one of the people at the open writers round yesterday passed through Memphis the day before, was talking about Memphis, and they they insulted our barbecue, and they said Nashville's barbecue is better, which is just wrong. I mean, look, I'm not even like that into barbecue. Um, Shit, I've been eating nothing but rice for the last couple days. I mean, not that those really correlate at all. I would love to have some barbecue right now. It's not rice by choice, it's rice by necessity. But, anyways. And then they also talked about Philly, which is the other city that I've lived in and love. And they were talking shit about both of them. And I felt so alienated. But not really. But I do love every opportunity I get to be like, yeah, I'm from Memphis. Because people, again, people are racist about Memphis. Um, and even if you're just from Memphis, they think you're like all hardened up and shit. Like, like Memphis, it's not that hard. It is hard if you live in poverty and had to join a gang growing up and are subject to gang violence and all that. But that's more of a problem with, systemic racism in this country, the white supremacist system that we live under. It has nothing to do with Memphis itself or the people of Memphis. That is just, survival that people have to partake in. So, unless you're joining a gang, you're not under any fucking risk at all, really. People are just ignorant, about it. It's wrong. But if you do come to Nashville, people will think that you're all tough. Sorry, I was turning off the lights. Actually, I have the mic over here, so it probably doesn't sound that bad. I've been reading. I didn't start doing this, but June started doing this. I'm still gonna say June here because this is not like a public stage, and I don't need that kind of simplicity. But we've been reading this book that I accidentally stole like 6 years ago. I don't know how it got into my stuff, but it did. It's just a book called The Mission of Art. And June the other day, well, I read it. I was reading it yesterday, and I was just sitting outside reading it, and I got really sunburned. I don't know if that. I, I, I get sunburned. Yeah, it happens. It'll happen probably once or twice more in that spot, and then I won't get sunburned. But I think it's maybe not good to let myself get sunburned, even though I do. I just like being in the sun. But I was sitting at the top, not at the top, but at that park yesterday, reading and smoking a little bit. Like I said, I'm not doing a ton of drugs. I smoke some weed sometimes, like a little bit. I don't smoke a lot because it makes me too anxious if I do. And other than that, all I take is estrogen. So I stopped taking my Wellbutrin too. Um, I'm gonna have to get off of it anyways because I don't have insurance anymore. So it's one less thing to pay for. Plus, luckily, Wellbutrin's it's not like Effexor or any of those other medications that I used to be on. When things are really bad. Um, it's pretty easy to get off of. I haven't really noticed it that much. I've been crying a lot today, but that is more of a situational cry. Like, let me put it this way. So last year when I was in Memphis and in college, I stopped taking it for like a day or two. No, like 3 days. I took like half of my dose one day, and then the next day took none. And that day I just cried like all day. But that was probably also situational. That was when I found out that everyone in my life thought that I started a house fire. And that is why I'd been experiencing horrible, horrible isolation from my entire community for 5 years. Um, but that's not even totally fair. It's not like I wasn't like an asshole before. I needed to grow. And I think this is also helping me grow and become a better person, become a little bit more humble, learn to trust other people better. Because I don't know. I needed this change. As much as it does suck that I am living in my car and I don't know anyone, um, and this isn't really what I wanted to do, to an extent. But um, it's what has to happen, and what needs to happen, and it's happening, and I'm gonna be okay. I'm gonna be fine. Uh, I can figure this out, but I didn't. I couldn't bring my cat, and that makes me really sad. I just she can't live in a car. Um, so hopefully, the quicker that I figure out, a place to stay here, I just, I can't really support myself or get a job because of the dissociative disorder, and I just, I needed stimulants to function for so long, and I can't take those anymore because I don't want to live like that. And I don't know, YouTube. What do you think I should do? Chat. Chat, what do I do? What do we do? Ugh. It is better than sitting around on the internet all day, making myself go crazy. I do, I am actually like very passionate about the art that I'm trying to make, and as stupid as it is my life's work, and it is always what I was planning on doing. I just didn't think I was good enough for a long time. But I got this, right? This video is now at 20 minutes. I think that is an appropriate amount of time for a video to be. 3 hours is a little bit way too long. 1 hour is too long. 3 minutes is probably too short. Hey, I got myself and my insanity. I also, the thing about changing my name to Love is just like people. I can't keep telling people that I have this dissociative disorder. Um, Unless, of course, they know who I am already somehow, which is not like I may have done some things. I may have contacted some people starting from a very early age, but that can't be real, right? I'll see you later, YouTube bot. YouTube bot? She thinks she's Shibley? I'll see you later, YouTube. I'm gonna nap, I guess. I love you.